Ladies and gentlemen, hello. Here's a fantastic example of how long this skip can go on 75 meters during the winter time. Here's a really nice period from late November through December till about the end of January, where there's plenty of darkness over North America and very few thunderstorms. So on the 75 meter and 160 meter amateur bands, the noise level is exceptionally low. Skip is long. It's just really nice F2 layer propagation. I was listening on a KiwiSDR in Northern California. I happened to notice that the waterfall showed the jammers on 3860. They're located on the East Coast, so I was not expecting to find them on the West Coast, but since they're coming in so well, I thought I would bring up a couple more SDRs and show you what's going on. So notice on the tabs, we have Northern California on the left tab. The center tab has the K9MQ Kiwi receiver just a bit southeast of Chicago, and on the right tab, here's the W3HFU radio in Westminster, Maryland. Currently, there's a bit of echo in the audio. It's because I have the sound up on all three receivers. Due to the latency, the audio does not arrive at the same time, so it sounds a bit echoey. I'll get the background waterfall adjusted to similar colors. And in a moment here, let's get things squared away a bit more now. We'll start turning down the audio, and we'll only listen to one receiver at a time. We're currently listening from Westminster, Maryland. Notice the very noisy digital signal starting at about 3856 and extending up to about 3858. It's visible from Westminster, not at all from California. The SDR in Indiana shows it a little bit. Well, there's just so much noise on here, it's time to mute these. So we'll turn down the volume from Northern California. Turn down the volume from Indiana. We'll bring up the waterfall from Westminster and just listen there for a moment. As usual, there's a very foul-mouthed, profane tirade from N3ITN. He's located in northeastern Pennsylvania. Comes in very well in Maryland. Somebody has gotten on his nerves and he's just ripping that person a new one.
Do you even go out? Do you go to like Wawa or whatever, Circle K? I mean,
in the background, somebody is playing a recording of George Carlin doing his stand-up comedy act. There's also a music jammer. And in addition, there's a station playing back some television. Sounds like maybe CNN or one of the other news channels.
And the irony, where you think you have the fucking balls or eject cars and interject or assert your shit.
The skip is getting rather long, so receiving him from Maryland is better than from the West Coast, but he actually is a bit weaker than some of the other noise on frequency.
You're a complete waste of fucking bandwidth. You're a complete waste of fucking, everybody's mental fucking well-being while they're trying to respond to you without telling you, fuck you, I want to kill you. You can't really say that shit on ham radio. Although, it would be really nice to be able to say that shit on ham. We used to be able to say that shit on CB. If you want to make a ham radio to CB comparison, nobody really gave a shit because it was just,
Yeah, you know what? People were a lot more crude back then. They're not as crude now.
Like you, a fucking snowflake, and fucking blue bloody hell breaks loose because,
But there's still a few jerks and idiots that are just holding on to the world,
one of us lost our
fighting against the future.
But overall, at the end of the day, we make our contacts.
You guys are dwindling.
We put up with your shit. The question is, how long are we going to put up with your shit? Because we've been putting up with your shit for a considerable period of time. And I don't know how long you plan on continuing this shit. I think one of two things is true. But I'm going to put a hard stop date on your shit. Personally, I lean towards unlimited. And that's March 3. That's 3/3.
It's interesting that he says March 3rd, considering that a lot of the right-wingers and accelerationists, boogaloos and whoever else is saying that March 4th, the traditional or the older pre-20th Amendment inauguration day. It's March 4th. So on this propagation N3ITN is starting to fade down as the skip gets longer. And the music station with its drunken singers, whatever recording this is, it's starting to fade up and become more loud than the others. The George Carlin comedy routine is in the background, and it hasn't changed much as we listen from Maryland. So, take down the volume from Maryland, switch to the K9MQ KiwiSDR, turn up the volume and see how this sounds from northern Indiana.
Monkey in the mirror, monkey in the mirror.
There's KF8ED.
Monkey in the SDR. What? That's funny.
The people singing are not quite as strong. George Carlin is a bit stronger.
Yeah, I'd say George is in a nice warm place.
So now the music station is going to run the Monkeys theme song. That's funny. Notice that the noisy digital station, which begins at about 3856 and goes up to about 3858, is barely visible in the waterfall from the Midwestern U.S. It was a lot stronger from the East Coast. It doesn't show up at all from California.
Bomb the brown people. Oh, wait a minute. They're burning their own place down. We don't need to bomb them. Never mind.
Oh, you asshole.
Good evening, Jim.
I have no sympathy for these people being jammed with all this music and stuff.
Is that your little skitty buddy?
Although the jamming totally goes against Part 97 rules.
No, I don't think that's him over there in Kodak. Not a strong enough signal.
Yeah, it's about 20 over up here.
Yeah, he'd have a lot greater signal to me if that.
KF80D has his transmitter cranked up to such high power,
I don't believe that's
he's
him.
pushing it into distortion. He's got some intermod products going above and below his signal. You can see it on the waterfall.
I think I heard the old fart.
You know who he is, right?
Yeah, I did out their little lamp.
Yeah, come to find out, Haney is one of them furries.
Well, he's perverted enough, I have to say that.
What in the world is a furry? I don't quite understand what he's talking about.
He likes to role play, I suppose.
Yeah, he does the same thing out here, likes to roll.
Volume down from Indiana. Let's go to California. We'll listen to the signal coming into the Whitmore area.
I'm told.
Men aren't secure about the size of their dicks, and so they have to kill one another over the idea.
Yeah, so you're way over the top of that signal. That's
So
what
the
I'm
George
saying.
Carlin signal is noticeably stronger in California. Sounds like that station is using a nice low-angle radiator,
Now, it ain't
maybe a
him,
vertical
but it's like
antenna,
I said,
I just turned in
or something similar.
Well, this is 3.860 megacycles according to my radio dial. And is this the kind of mayhem that goes on up here at this frequency? Is this a regular occurrence?
That guy must not get out very much. It's chaos on 3860 every night.
Being played. Secret agent, man. I hear people complaining and arguing. What's going on
This must
here?
be his first time to tune around on this part of the band.
It's a subconscious need to project the penis into other people's affairs. It's called fucking with people.
Here's George Carlin fading in a little bit.
Another big George Carlin player on the radio. Gary Davis.
Oh, yeah, Gary, old filthy Gary.
I am not familiar with Gary Davis. Apparently, that person ran a station who played a bunch of George Carlin. FCC may have taken that one off the air at some point in the past.
Yes, he is.
Children to die. Even the Navy.
Him and Donnie would be good buddies, I guess, together.
Well, you know, I see nothing abnormal about hockey and all of it. There you go.
Switch over and listen from Westminster for a bit. Standby one.
Gary likes little boys.
Gives you away. What did we do wrong in Vietnam? We pulled out. Not a very manly thing to do, is it? When you're
George
fucking people,
Carlin.
you gotta stay in there and fuck them good. Fuck them all the way. Fuck them till the end. Stay in there and keep fucking them until they're all dead. We left a few women and
You know
children
who also has a signal about that Frank to me?
What I'm trying to do here is adjust the waterfall so the background stays dark. And these signals are just showing a bit of red on peaks. Westminster. Switch over to K9MQ SDR. Northern Indiana, volume up.
For 20 years, you could have recognized him for what.
I think it's kind of funny because you got about 3 or 4 crumbers in there, and they're each crumbing each other.
The Midwest is a pretty good place to listen to those jammers in the east. It's far enough away to be out of the skip zone. They come down on one hop propagation and they're strong. The proportions of their signals who's the strongest, who's got a middle signal, who's weakest, is about the same when listening from California. But they're all farther away and they're weaker. They're down closer to the background noise. So if you want to listen to the jammers, listen from Indiana. KFADD is transmitting from West Virginia, and 3ITN is transmitting from eastern Pennsylvania. Those are the licensed hams on frequency. Plus this other gentleman. I'm not sure what his call sign is, but if you want to hear them talking, listen from about 500 or 600 miles away, and you won't have problems with the skip zone. The music jammers are in the northeastern U.S. New York State, northern and eastern Pennsylvania, possibly one in Massachusetts. And there have been rumors about one or two in southern and eastern Canada, Ontario mostly. I've heard one or two people assert that there's one jammer in Quebec, but my attempts to get TDOA fixes on them doesn't show anyone located in southern Quebec. It's a whole mishmash of noise listening from Indiana at this point. Go to California, bring the volume up. Once again, we're much farther away now. Signals are quite audible out there thanks to the long skip. So it's interesting. There's so much darkness over the northern hemisphere at this time of year. These quiet conditions will persist until about late February, and then there's more thunderstorm noise. The sun also ionizes the ionosphere a bit stronger, and you don't quite have that very nice long skip. So here's where I was listening earlier. I was monitoring these guys on 3854. Right-wingers, very similar to the Eastern Regional Patriot Net, but it's a different group centered in Northern California, Idaho, Oregon.
Receives the emergency broadcast station or reports that they are
another day,
to accept
another conspiracy.
Copy that, W0LRF. I did hear the same, actually, a day or two ago. That information did come across some things that I saw. So that does support the emergency broadcast system as a tool that could be used in this scenario. W0LRF, thanks for that update. I have heard the same. KI7SAR, back to you, KI7SAR.
Yeah, thanks.